Hey guys, this is Azerlin with a review of No Man's Sky. No Man's Sky is a procedurally generated first-person sci-fi game that is almost entirely focused on exploration and discovery. You fly around in your spaceship exploring planets and the vastness of space, discover new technologies, meet new aliens and learn their languages, and analyze and catalog a wide variety of plants and animals across the universe. The amount of content to explore is completely mind-blowing, and if you love exploring just for the sake of exploring, then there's a lot to do. However, with that being said, there is also a lot of repetition and potential monotony that will likely turn a lot of people off of the game. The first planet that I started on was radioactive, and I had no idea what I was doing. I would have really liked a better tutorial because there isn't much that explains what you should do, and you kind of have to figure things out as you go. I didn't want to learn the basics on a radioactive planet, so I tried to create a new game, only to realize that you can't start over. I'm not sure why, but for some reason there's no option to start a new game. Another complaint I have is with the lack of save slots. There's only 2 slots for your most recent autosaves. And I would definitely like to see more slots added, as well as an option to save manually. Once I started figuring things out, it wasn't too bad to deal with the radiation, and the game does have some survival aspects where you need to recharge your hazard suit and life support so that you don't die. I usually found survival fairly easy to manage, but on some planets with extreme conditions, upgrades to your suit are highly recommended if you plan to travel by foot anywhere. The upgrades are usually good and effective, but I hate that they take up inventory space. And I also find it very annoying that many items don't stack. It bothers me that I can carry 250 resources in one slot, but I can't hold more than one of the same item that's a non-resource. I like the crafting system because it's easy to follow, and it was very clear what items you need to make something, but some of the crafting can be very tedious. For example, to make one warp fuel, you have to craft each of the previous steps individually before making the final product, even if you have all the mats for each of the components. It feels very inconvenient, and even these items don't stack either. I generally enjoy exploration in games, but I need to have a reason to explore, whether it's upgrades, XP, or more information about the story. But No Man's Sky doesn't seem to have a persistent story or any missions that gives the player objectives. I'm trying to get to the center of the universe, but I don't really know why. There are a lot of technology upgrades that you can find, so there is incentive to keep exploring. After a while though, most of the technology I kept finding was things that I already knew, and it's very discouraging to be rewarded with basically nothing after searching many new locations. I would have really liked to have seen either no duplicate technology awarded, or at least a decent currency reward instead. Another thing about the upgrade technology that I didn't like was that there's no way to just buy the technology patterns you actually want. You need to be lucky to get it by random chance discovery. And I'm mainly referring to the warp drive upgrades, because you need specific types of warp drive upgrades in order to jump to certain types of solar systems that are supposedly more rich in resources. The game does have random black hole spawns here and there, and I would have really liked to have taken these black holes to save both time and resources, but something was broken with my map pathfinding. I found 3 anomalies that were supposed to be black holes, but they never actually showed up on my galactic map at all. The galactic map is a nuisance to use as well. Selecting the jump route is a huge pain, and the map view changes on you every time you look at a new location, and it's very easy to get disoriented. I wish there was a way to just jump the max distance possible much more easily. There's also ground combat and air combat, but it was usually just the same few types of enemies. Ground combat is alright, and I didn't mind it. The reticule though is small and hard to see, so I was often using the building directional icon as my reticule by mistake when I was trying to target things. The air combat is very annoying though, especially close to the planet's surface. It feels very awkward trying to dogfight, and the ship movement and controls feel sluggish. Dogfighting in PlanetSide 2 is much more enjoyable than the air combat in No Man's Sky. One of the highlights of the game is how beautiful the game looks. It's absolutely gorgeous, and I love how pretty and vibrant all the environments look, both on land and in space. There's a wide variety of ship designs and colors, and I think it's great that you can just buy any ship that you encounter if you can afford it. And I also find many of the creature designs to be very unique, and some that are strange looking. Many of the visuals feel fresh and exciting, But there are some assets that are heavily overused. The space stations are all practically identical on the inside, and many of the plants and resource structures are identical from one planet to the next. Building design is very repetitive, and it's not very satisfying at all to discover the exact same buildings over and over on every single planet. I didn't experience any graphical bugs, but I did encounter some periodic frame drops, a few crashes to desktop, and a couple other times where I started lagging so badly that I had to restart the game for it to be playable again. There are some other annoyances that the game has as well. Like when you save at an outpost, there's basically the same animation every single time. And when you encounter aliens, even without talking to them yet, the view change to a letterbox format is completely unnecessary. And the most annoying of all is when the journey milestone achievements pop up, and you have to wait for all the spammy pop-ups to go away before you can start playing again. The game's audio is decent, and the music and the ambience are enjoyable. The voice dialogue of the alien languages is neat as well, and I think it's interesting that you can learn different words to understand the different alien languages. No Man's Sky is certainly a game about the journey and not the end. It's not a game that will appeal to everyone, and I enjoyed the game for about 10 hours or so, but after that I decided to head towards the center. In total I wound up playing over 27 hours, but the last 12 hours felt so incredibly painful and tedious. The progress to the center feels too slow and underwhelming, and I'm not even close to getting there. The game has a lot of content to explore, but it lacks purpose and does get repetitive. For those people who enjoy collectibles and exploring just for the sake of exploring, they'll likely get a lot of enjoyment out of this game, even at the full price. On the other hand, if you aren't keen on exploring endlessly, then this probably isn't the game for you, especially not at this hefty price tag. No Man's Sky has a ton of potential, but there's definitely a lot of room for improvement. I hope this review has helped you. If you enjoyed it, please like, subscribe, and post your feedback in the comments below. Thanks everyone, and have a wonderful day.